Hello, welcome to the Balance Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Karen Truesdale-Bierman, and I'm so excited to have my guest today, Heather Rosson. Welcome.
Thank you. Excited to be here.
Yes, and we were just chatting about time zones because I guess you just left Texas and now you're in Arizona, and I'm in New Mexico going back to Texas tomorrow. So that's 3 time zones for us to coordinate.
Yes. And then the traveling just throws me off. So it's all good though.
Do you have a direct flight from Dallas?
We drove this last time.
Oh wow, that has to really throw you
Yeah.
off, or to make you tired in a different sort of way.
Right. Yeah. Well, because as you drive back, we stayed the night in El Paso last night. So then you're in the next time zone and then the next one, right?
Yeah. And El Paso is like the halfway. Well, when I used to drive between San Antonio and Albuquerque, we used to go through El Paso. Now we take 285 Stockton, but I don't think Port Stockton has switched over yet. But there is a sign when it'll tell you you're entering.
Right. I saw that. Yeah.
Well, I'm so excited to have you. How long were you in Dallas? Is it?
Like 2.5 weeks. So that's why I drove this time. We were there for a while. I took a lot of stuff because participated sponsoring 2 different conferences. And had a lot of things to bring for that. And then threw a short vacation down to Port Aransas in the middle of it. So
when are you going to buy property in Texas?
I know that's the big question, right?
Well, I know congratulations. Yeah, congratulations are in order. And then tell us about your 2 conferences.
Thanks. So the National Association of Christian Women Entrepreneurs sponsored the first conference that was, I'm just going to say, they said there would be 200 people. There was 50, it was totally like a weird thing. But the second conference was amazing.
Okay.
So that's good. The second one was the International Christian Coaches Institute. And they had about 300 people in attendance. It was the first time they put on the conference. And we just met some amazing people and signed up members right there on the spot at the table, and got to pray for people. It was pretty crazy. It was cool. It was very, very cool.
Very cool. All right. Well, then I'll start with my first question, since we're focusing on balance and women in business this year. How do you find balance with everything, with your businesses and family and travel? And
I think you have to, I don't know if balance is really the right word, right? For me, because I always feel like if you look at the big picture, like the 30,000 foot view, it's probably in balance. But on the day to day, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Week to week, for sure, right? I just spent 2.5 weeks in Dallas. That's totally different than when I'm here at home. But over the course of things, right? Today's kind of a pretty I've scheduled a slower day, a reflection day, really to analyze what happened at the conference and make sure I'm following up with those people and that kind of stuff. So bigger picture, but I do make sure I put things on my schedule, like lunch is in my calendar so that I stand up from my desk and go make something to eat. Right. And then take that short break or go outside or and then I've tried when I'm home to set boundaries on my work time, then spend some time with my family. I like them.
You like hanging out with them. Well, and the good thing about this home office, I love it. It's so cozy, but you can shut the door.
Oh yeah,
not that my laptop couldn't be downstairs in the nook, but
yeah.
But as far as a boundary. And I love that you sort of touched on rest, because I just did an interview with Marta about rest and planning for rest.
Yes.
And that's really been on my mind, especially this weekend. Just if we don't rest, then we aren't able to use our talents and our gifts.
Right. Yeah. And our brains just don't function well if they're in that on stressed out mode. Right. So I used to, what did she call it? There's a reason we all get the best ideas in the shower. It's because all of the other distractions are gone and our brain gets a chance to rest and
Right.
just sort of form around a problem or around a question that you've been ruminating on, but just haven't had time to think about.
Right. And then the answer sort of comes upon you.
It does. Yeah. Yeah. Because our
Yeah.
brain takes over that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I used to be a runner, and I remember when I'd go running, I'd have ideas, or if I was writing something.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That makes total sense to me.
Yeah. All right. Well, tell us about your business or your businesses, because you have a business and a huge association.
Yeah. So the major, like the National Association of Christian Women Entrepreneurs is a mouthful to say. And so we call it NACWE for short. But we love our community. We have like a full online success institute that many, many people are a part of. So there's knowledge in there from so many different experts. But really, we're just a community that are all trying to build businesses and sort of going the same direction. And it's been a fantastic community. My own business, I'm a marketing strategist, and so I do marketing coaching and business coaching. So I really I took over the association in June officially, and since then have really focused in on growing that and making sure the systems are in place, right? Like for the customer experience
NACWE to grow.
go well for NACWE.
Right,
Yeah.
like if somebody lands on your planet or lands on NACWE and is interested, and then they have a roadmap or.
Yeah, just so that they know. And if they join, once they join, right? Like it's not like, oh, I joined this and now I don't know how to do anything. I want to make sure they have the information they need. They know when we're meeting. They know we are launching local chapters. And so we've done Tucson, we've done Phoenix, we've done Dallas. I have, I think, 5 sort of on the horizon of people who have said, hey, I want to start up a chapter in my area. So we're in pre-launch phase for them. And so all of that is moving very quickly. And I just wanted to make sure, right, that the onboarding process doesn't get lost in the midst of that.
And then is your goal national or international?
So we do have members in Canada. We have.
You're already international.
So we're already international. Yeah, we, a few people here and there. As far as chapters go, I don't know. We'll just have to see what God does with that.
Well, I predict there'll be a San Antonio chapter.
There you go.
Or Austin. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think Austin is, there's been a couple people who've asked me about Austin. And one of them probably isn't the right person for the directorship, but she was like great in a support role. And so, yeah, so just getting that launch team together will be the first step for this.
Well, that's a great, I'm going to tag on that support. Like, how do you, I mean, years ago, Diane created NACWE.
Yeah,
which was for her. Okay, so to create a place for women with, business, Christian women, small business owners to have support.
Yes.
And it's grown. I mean, and it's amazing, and it's full circle. And now she's the Dallas chapter.
Yes, she's.
So that's an example of a way of getting support as a woman business owner. But how do you get the support that you need?
So I know I have done a ton of work before this, right? As far as like my personality, what I do really, really well, and what I don't do so well. And creating local chapters was part of that reflection, because I'm not going to do all of the things. I don't even want it to be about me, right? Like it's an association that's about all of us, and I get to hold it loosely because it's God's. And so I feel like in there, I'm like, I call myself the chief experience officer, right? Like I'm just sort of orchestrating what's happening so that people feel loved and cared for. But I don't go to all of the things that people are leading because they're leading them. And so like Robin Moore, who is my Tucson director, she's doing a co-working session. And I may, if I can go, I go. But if I'm, at a conference in Dallas, getting us exposure to new people, then
You
it's
got
okay. It all goes,
Yeah.
you know, she's amazing and it all goes off without a hitch, and
Mhm,
our membership feels loved and supported, and
mhm.
it's getting what they need. And so I think it really is the true sense of a community
Mhm.
when it comes to support.
Are the local chapters gonna have a different flavor? I mean, I think San Antonio feels different than Dallas, which is different than Tucson. Which would be
Of
different
course, right?
than-
They're
or
always going to
Southeast.
have their own personality,
Yeah.
right?
A good
One of
thing.
the things though that I do want to make sure is that like it doesn't feel jarring because once you join, you can go to any of them that are established. So
Mhm.
if you're traveling to the Dallas area, you can go to the Dallas one, right?
Mhm.
And I don't want it to feel jarring if somebody goes in so I don't want it to be that different, but they'll definitely
Oh,
all
right, like the same brand or the same feel, but okay,
Yes.
this is our twist on it.
Yeah. So they definitely, I mean, New York has a very different feel than Tucson for sure.
For sure.
So yeah, they definitely all have, even right now, they all have their own personality.
Yeah.
Even the two in Arizona, right? Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Are there any other tribes or groups that you belong to that help?
I'm
Yeah.
pretty involved in eWomen Network.
Okay,
And
I'm not familiar with that.
Okay, yeah, it's a great group of women. They have chapters as well.
Mhm.
And the founder of eWomen Network, who's Sandra Yancey, she is one of my mentors. And so I chat with her to get ideas and make sure I'm on the right track, because they say find somebody who's doing what you want to do and learn from them. And so
Absolutely.
learning from her in
Mhm.
every sense of the word. And so that's been fantastic. It's an amazing it's an amazing group of women.
Mhm.
The Tucson chapter is the one I belong to here. And
Mhm.
that managing director and then my Robin, who's the Tucson director, all work pretty closely to we all have I think one of their core value is lift as we climb, right? We have a no competition in the kingdom, like let's go together. So
There's abundance. Yeah.
there's abundance. There's enough for everybody. And God is not the God of either or, right? He's like the God of both and like people
Right.
can do both, and they're both amazing networks, and
Mhm.
we fit for some of them and we don't fit for others. Like, if
Mhm.
you don't identify as a Christian woman in business, our organization probably isn't the one for you, although you're welcome.
Right.
But you're not going to feel comfortable there as
Right.
for all the people,
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and what tips do you have for our audience on balance?
Schedule it. I mean, I'm sure Marta said the same thing with rest, right?
Mhm.
Schedule your rest in. Don't get hung up on there's going to be time. The one thing Marta talks about, did she talk about this on your podcast with hustle and toxic hustle?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. So that distinction,
because the hustle is good. You have to have the hustle to be
we gotta work hard, right?
Work hard, play hard.
Yes. And so that distinction was huge. So I think, there's gonna be days that you're busier than other days. And
Mhm.
that doesn't mean you're out of balance. But if all of your days are like that, you probably have to take a step back, take a look,
Schedule a rest day.
schedule it in for
Well,
sure.
one of the things she
If
said
God
that I
can
love,
rest on the seventh day, we can rest too.
yes, she said, one of the quotes she shared was rest is an action step.
It's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she does. Yeah. So she spoke for us on our Tuesday Power Hour not very long ago. And
Oh.
that hustle versus toxic hustle I
Mhm.
was just like, yes, because
On the way.
you hear everybody talk about the anti-hustle culture. And I'm like, but wait, we have to work hard.
Right.
We can't just not do it. But
Right.
but that distinction is huge. And so yeah, for balance, schedule it in. Pay attention when your kids or your husband is like, hello, I'm here.
I'd like to spend some time with you.
I'd like to spend some time with you. Yeah, pay attention to that. Yeah.
Okay, well, perfect. Well, thank you for sharing some of your time today, because I guess it's your
Thank you.
re-entry day. It was so nice to have you.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you.